Okay, now you start to get to law number 14, the law of buy-in, then you also will have what we're going to talk about in a few minutes, the law of the big mo. That's because you've got that big freight train starting to make some real big momentum. Now, I lived in Kansas, South Central Kansas, for a long time, and we passed enormous freight trains. And back when we lived there in the mid-90s, the trains were about a mile long. Now they're over 2 miles long, and you guys have seen these, where you have the big engines in the middle of the train and at the end of the train, because you spread out the need to move the train. Once you get the momentum going of that train, it's hard to stop it. That's where the law of the buy-in ties in. Because in order for a message to be truly influential, people need to be bought into the messenger. As you have that momentum, you get more people to buy into the messenger. So if they're not, the vision's going to have little effect. What shows this is that leaders tend to develop the vision first, then find the people. While the people tend to find a leader that they believe in, and then find the vision. So as we, as leaders, are conveying our vision, we got to convey it with excitement, with energy and conviction. You just don't pick it up off a book and start sharing it. It's got to be who you are. Whatever the case is, whether it be because of likability, charisma, trust, competence, or respect, the more the buy-in that someone has to where you're going, the greater their influence will be. So, you as a leader, when you're conveying this, got to do your homework, have got to make sure that it's part of who you are and what you are. You've got to make sure that there's evidence that what you're saying is really true going on in your company right now. And then you've got to make sure that you have a clear direction and plan going forward. And if you do that, then you get the law of the buy-in, and your influence is going to be even greater. Imagine if you're a Pac-12 football fan, and you've been a fan of USC for many, many years. You've seen where their coaches have had less and less influence on the direction of that team the last 6 or 7 years, to where this past year they were 4-7 in a conference that is horrible. But USC went out and hired somebody with enormous influence, Lincoln Riley, who had taken the University of Oklahoma to several different Big 12 championships and also to the Final Four several different times. And that immediately changed the direction of the program because people were now willing to listen to the coach. Just think of going into a huddle, and if the quarterback is there and nobody wants to listen to him. That's exactly what was going on with the USC football program. They needed to find somebody who was actually bigger than the program, which is pretty hard to do when you're a foundational program like that. But they did, and it immediately changed something. It's like the quarterback coming in there, instead of saying, hey guys, do you think we should do this? Coming in very stern, very direct, and going, this is where we're going to go. See, the more buy-in that someone has, the greater their influence is going to be. And that's all with strong, direct, and confident leadership.